Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Scientix STEM Alliance Future Classroom Lab and Smart Technologies webinar, engaging students with Lumio Collaborative Activities and eTwinning and online projects. My name is Luigi Prisco. I work at European Schoolnet, and I have the pleasure to be your host tonight. Before we start, let me give you some information. You can engage with the speaker by posing your questions in the chat, and we will address them later on during the session. We will be sharing valuable information and helpful links with you during the webinar. So again, keep an eye on the chat. And very important, don't forget to sign the signature list that we are sharing here on the screen with the QR code, but also in the chat. By signing the signature list, you're confirming your participation in the webinar, and you will receive a certificate of attendance that we will share via email later on. In this session, we will examine multiple approaches to promote active students' participation. By focusing on collaborative dynamics and gamification, the session will provide you with practical templates and activities easily applicable to eTwinning and online frameworks. And finally, as I mentioned, we will address your questions during the Q&A segment at the end. It is my pleasure now to welcome our speaker, Mark Hartwright. With over 15 years of experience in education, 11 of them as a classroom teacher, Mark has expert knowledge of the real-world benefits that smart technologies can bring to learners and educators. His role as an education consultant enabled him to support the wider community, plan and deliver implementation plans, whilst ensuring the focus of improving outcomes is maintained. So without further ado, I'll hand it over to Mark. Mark, thank you for being here with us today.
You're more than welcome, and that's some introduction, so thanks very much. Really nice to see all your comments and hellos from the chat. So hello from every single country by the sounds of things, but equally hello from UK, hello from England. As you kind of said, I've used smart products, I've used Lumio within the classroom and lots of different ways, but actually with the main focus of how can I get that engagement, how can I get that love of learning with the children by actually doing that content. So I taught primary school, so kind of from age about 5 to age to about 11, and thoroughly loved it. But in my role now with Smart, I've worked with loads of different students, loads of different educators as well, all up to the students at age of 20 plus. So yeah, I'm really pleased to share with you Lumio this afternoon and get us all involved in doing something, either as a session where you can use it as face-to-face or remote learning as well, and how it really kind of lends itself to both of those. So I'm just going to kind of do a quick introduction of, said that as well. That's me from Lumio, and then this is going to be our kind of session this afternoon from here as well. So I'll have a little bit about what Lumio is, and then we'll have a kind of just a run through of how can I use this already. So taking from, I've made a PowerPoint and put it straight into Lumio. So without any other further preparation, you can take that existing content and then make it more engaging, make it more hands-on, make that more active learning for the students. And then we'll add a few things to it and call out a few extra little bits like accessibility, the libraries, how to share it with other staff and students, and then give you a link so you can sign up to Lumio for free today as well. But of course, any other questions themselves, pop them in the chat. And I'm going to also put myself a link in the chat as well. So I'm just going to end this session here and go back to the main library. And that is the session there if you want to join. So what I've done here is within my Lumio session here, all I've done is clicked on import and then found a PowerPoint. And that's all I've done as a preparation. So if you've got content already, whether it's a PowerPoint, a Google Slides, a PDF, or if you're taking any other content from Canva or wherever it might be, you can obviously save that as a PDF and then import it straight here. So that's going to be my starting point. And then I'm going to start a new lesson here. So hopefully, really nice and easy for you to start this session into it. And what you'll see there is now that's my screen. This is now just my PowerPoint. I've done nothing to it itself. So if anyone wants to, if you prefer to click on the link in the chat, which I think is pinned, and you've also then got this, if you prefer to go to the website here, lumioclass.com, it's going to ask you to join as a guest. Once you've joined as a guest, there's the class code, then you join as guest, pop in your name, and you'll be in. Or, of course, if you prefer to scan that QR code with a separate phone or something, you can as well. And what you'll be doing here is joining as if you were a student. The students can then join your live, what was PowerPoint or PDF or Google Slides, and then hopefully they can have that engagement and that interaction from that as well. Now I can see that I've got 2 students joined already, so hopefully a few more kind of click on that link as well. I can see that Camilla and others have reposted that in the chat as well, so click on that link and you'll be on it as well, and if not, we'll just go through it as it is. So link in the chat to join directly and see what's happening. The number, if you prefer it, is down there as well. And I can see that I've got then 4, 5 students joining. I can see their names on here. So hello to everybody who's joined. It's great to see you in that as well. I can see a few more joining. So I'll just go slowly through this. So simple way of entering. Here is my PowerPoint. I'm pressing play and you can see it as well. As I go next page on mine, those that have joined live, the now 15 of you have joined live, you can see that carrying on live as well. Now, apologies if it's not translated into every language at the moment. I'm just going to keep it in English. And then what I can do here is actually I can then underline, I can circle any bits within this itself, and that is then appearing real time for you as well. So those that have joined will be able to see that as well. If you haven't, the link's still in the chat. And then you can see my annotations here from England are appearing from you as well. So if we are doing this remotely to students far and wide, fantastic. Or of course, if you're doing it within the classroom as well. At no point here have I asked, what device have you got? Or install this app. Because Lumio is completely web-based, it means that I can have this running through a web browser here, and it can be done on your Chromebook, your iPad, your phone, Windows, Mac, whatever it might be, smartboard, it can be on there as well. I'm writing on it, you can see it. So as I'm kind of going through this lesson here, you can see those resources, you can kind of have that teacher-led moment within it. I've got some lovely tools down the side here, which you haven't got yet, because at the moment it's aimed at me teaching it, me delivering it, and you kind of learning from it. So let's move on to here and actually go to a page where we can all join together. So this one here, as an example, now you might just be trying to tick your own country here. Again, you haven't got tools at the moment. If I'm wanting my students to actually take part in my lesson, this is where I can convert this page by clicking on these people at the top here into some way of interacting with it. Now, how do I want them interacting with it? Again, this is now my choice as an educator. It might be from individual work, whole class. For this one here, I'm just going to click on group work. So at this stage, it is going to have to be in it to win it, if you like. So I'm going to click on that, and then everyone's that joined so far, so the 24 of us are going to be put into groups. I'm going to put us into 5, 6 different groups. And then I can see here that if there was any particular children that I needed to move around for any reason, as there might be, I can then just move those children around up on there, and then I click start. Now, this is a live one, so you do need to be in it. So if you haven't joined yet, don't worry, just kind of view for a moment, and then I'll give you a chance to come back in again in a moment. So here you've now, if I just jump into Rosa's group and Andrea's, what you'll see now is that I can annotate on yours, but just in team 1. All of you now in team 1 and all the other teams as well can now pick up these pens or start writing and actually annotate on that as well. So let's just see what other teams want. So that's team 1. Team 2, haven't done anything yet, so feel free to write in it. Team 3, no one has written anything in team 3 yet. Team 4, come on, someone will be first to pick up a pen. Yeah, team 6. I'd like to say you've got, let's actually just give team 6 a gold star. So let's just jump in and add a sticker. And let's give Team 6 a gold star because they were the first ones to join. So Team 6 have done that. And I can actually see that here, and Bodhi has actually done that as well. He's put some scribbles on there as well. And the teacher 52 has put the eyes in as well. Not quite on task, but we'll ignore that for now. But you can see that as a group, that's Team 6 doing it. Jumping back into Team 1, I can see that somebody else has got some ticks up in here, and actually they're doing the task on exactly right. So Andrea, thank you very much. I can see you've taken the ticks from the stickers at the side and you're beginning to mark up that one. So from a teacher's point of view, what we're doing here is I can now jump into each group, see what they're doing. I can then give that individual feedback like I gave that star at the beginning. But then there's that worksheet, there's that hands-on, that active learning, which I spoke about at the very beginning, and it's practically happening for all of us. And again, this is just taken from my PowerPoint. So that preparation stuff is resources that I've already got, or this could have been a PDF, a worksheet, a test paper, or something like that. I can then send this across digitally, and then they can all be part of it. Remotely, in class, wherever they are, that engagement is happening straight within Lumio. Great, we've got some good contributions from group 4 as well. And it's just to finish off in group 5. I've got someone's written cool at the top as well. Excellent. So, moving on. So that was the group work. What I'd like to do in this one here, and again, I'm going to change it. So as I change it, it changes for you. This is then that individual work. Again, I've just got this blank template here, clicking on my people, but rather than clicking on group work, I can now click on individual work. So for those that joined and didn't get into the group work, everybody's now back into this one, and you can all then take a part here. And again, just to reiterate, if there's any other questions that are popping up, feel free to pop those in the chat, and I'll answer those as soon as possible. So again, this is my individual one here, and I'm just going to add a tick to this one here, but this is my teacher way of modeling it, because that was in my teacher handout at the top here. If I was to click on my student progress, I can actually see that all of my students have joined here as well. And then all of these are on there as well. And then I'm just going to pick on you, Joshua. So I'm going to click on Joshua's work here, jump into theirs and say, oh, come on, let's make a start. There you go. I can see that you've started that line already and you've done it, starting to write in it. Brilliant. Thanks, Joshua. Let's pick on somebody else's. Let's pick on Carlos's. And they've done nothing yet. But you can see here that now I can jump into each one of these sections, look how that student's doing. I probably should have given you a little bit more time, and actually see that doing that progress as well. Equally, you may have finished and you will see top right of your work, there's a done button. So I can see here that someone's done and maybe there's not. Keep going. But then I can give that individual feedback just to Angie rather than to everybody themselves here. And you can see, yes, I can see those ticking those done buttons. As my whole class overview, I can see that some of you are complete, most of us are still going, and 8 of you are just viewing. But taking this as a test paper as an example, yes, there's a time where students need to physically, practically write that and practice that way, but there's those times when you're in the classroom where they can just have a digital version of it. Or of course, if we are remote, if we are working on lots of different areas, then all of those people as well can be joining in that content. You don't need to send things out in advance. I'm not having my slides on one page, my activities on another page, and my worksheets on somewhere else. It's everybody all together, making it a lot easier for you joining as a student from this point of view. And you can see now I've got up to 36 people that have joined, which is great. So everyone is now joining, even if they're a little bit late, they can come back into this session as well. And of course, if you haven't joined yet already, there are links on all platforms, so feel free to have a look at the chat, or just to highlight it itself here as well, go to lumioclass.com, 162353 is the code, join as a guest, and in you come. So, individual work. We've looked at group work, individual work. What I'm going to do now is, whilst you're kind of carrying on with that individual work, again, going back to my people at the side here, rather than clarifying on teacher pacing, I'm going to turn it to student pacing. So some of you may just wish to carry on with that individual work, away you go. But for me, now on my smartboard at the front of the class, or whatever I'm using, it doesn't have to be a smartboard, I can then display, as I'm showing here, that key information. So we could be showing one thing at the front of the classroom while the student's doing something else. You could be doing a remote session like we're doing now, sharing your screen, showing one thing, and then the students are working on their own one somewhere else. Or it might be that I say, I don't know, I can see someone's from here from Greece. Everyone in Greece, go to the extension on page 7, and everyone from, let's pick another country. We had someone from before. There's a lot from Greece, which is great. And everyone from Turkey, go to page 6, because that's where you're working. Wherever it might be, you can now go up and down your page. You can have different groups going from different places, because it is on student pacing at the top here. What I'm going to do now is end that lesson. So hopefully what you'll see then, just pause for yours, what you'll see then is taking that simple PowerPoint presentation or Google Slides or a PDF or a smart notebook file, if you're using that, I can take that, and rather than that be engagement just happening for me and sharing my screen, now you are all engaging as well, and you are doing something in that lesson rather than just nothing. Particularly if you're doing a remote session, you don't know how engaged they are. This is a great measure of doing something like that. So let's have just a bit of an overview of everything else within Lumio itself. So first of all, I'm taking that page here that, like I said, I imported directly from the top. And then once it's in here, I can then go to edit this file. Rather than starting new, I'm going to click on edit. And now with edit, you can see down the side here, this is then just what was my normal PowerPoint. So first of all, I can have these different objects. I can move them around. They are separate within it itself. But what's really good is this bottom left button down here, this add button. So if I go down to kind of, rather than just straight after the learning objectives, I want to do a quick assessment for learning or gather some information. So I can add in a lot more within it. And it might be that you're adding in your graphic organizer. So let's start with that one. So lots of different templates within this here as well. I really like that brainstorming one in the middle. You can see there's mind maps. Freya model is quite a nice one here. Again, all of these are very editable. I've got my browser set to English, so all of these resources are in English. But equally, if you were to have your browser in Italian or in Greek or in Spanish or every other language, Portuguese, whichever other language you've got within you need, all of these would then be translated into your language as well. Lumio takes on the language of the browser, so you can have it all in there as well. It is free to use and start using it. I'll leave you a link at the end for you to actually get going with it as well. It is just Lumio, lum.io, but I'll come back at the end. So from this one here, I'm just going to add into my lesson this brainstorming activity. Click on that page, and that goes into there. So then I'm beginning to build up this lesson. Then what was a normal PowerPoint, I can add it into here. I'm just going to put in power as an example, and then put that in the middle. And I'm also going to actually lock this one as well, lock in place so it can't be moved. And let's add some more things into it as well. So that was a graphic organizer. There's also some really good manipulatables in here as well. So for any music teachers, I'm not quite sure how easy that is to do remotely, but it's there. Counting charts. But again, the beauty of doing this remotely is that then you can have those physical manipulatives you can do, which is very hard to kind of send resources out ahead of time. But if you've got digital ones, that's great. So I'm just going to add in actually my fraction bar, because that's a really useful one to have. Again, coming from a primary background, really useful, depending on your subject, depending on your year group, age of your children. But this one here has then just got some objects that I can move around within this itself. And I'm just going to go ahead and just delete those so it's back to being how it was at the beginning. And then that is ready to go. And again, being able to convert this page into an individual handout or a group work, then everybody has got that as well. So I'm going to change this to an individual handout and then call this fraction wall. So then when the children have that on, they can have that fraction wall and use it as that reference point as well. Maybe that reference point that they need is always at the end, so they know that their practical resources are at the end of their lesson. Great. So I've added some graphic organizers. I've added some digital manipulatives in there as well. Of course, I can just make some of my own. So I could add in a new page, which was just a blank page. And then from in here, I could add in some different text like I've got there. I could add in stickers. I could add in shapes. I could add images from online. Let's just add in a euro coin. I can add that one in there. So then I could have this euro coin in here. In fact, coins are already in the one as well. Add that to infinitely clone. So when the children come up and use that, they can just be moving those coins around. And again, a practical way of doing it, making my own here. Not the best example, but you can see them there. What else can we add in? Those are ones from the bottom. Really nice to kind of get that assessment for learning, that knowledge and what questions as well is down there. And I'm just going to go and actually add in some of these games as well. So these are, in fact, one thing I'm going to do before that, looking at this top link here. I can add in advert-free YouTube. So again, trying to send that link to everybody, not being distracted by adverts, I can have that straight within it. If there's any maths or science teachers, if you're using a graphing calculator, there's that one from Desmos. PhET simulations for science experiments. I can have these embedded within my lesson. Great for science and maths examples within here. And then those can be embedded into my lesson. And then you can actually put other links as well. If you're using anything else third party like ClickView or Book Creator, you can add those in from there as well. But for now, I'm going to go to this game-based activity. If you've used games, assessments, anything like that within your lessons, something like Kahoot or Quizlet, it's similar to that built in. So it might just be a quick word search you want to add that in as well. Or a monster quiz game. I definitely recommend trying that one out itself. But for now, I'm just going to do a quick game show. So within this game show here as well, I can see that I've got two options. I can either just write the questions myself. I can have a multiple choice question and write it in nice and easy. But to save me a little bit more time, let's get AI to do that for me. So, but this is very much an AI assist. I'll explain why in a moment. So I'm going to have a multiple choice. Grade levels, just check how yours correlates to the American grade system. It's normally kind of one more or one less type style. So I'm just going to have grade 7 to kind of put it in the middle. I'm going to then have 2 questions made for me. And again, I can have it in English. I can choose from my standard, Common Core, lots of different ones itself here as well. Hopefully yours are in there as well. I'm National Curriculum for England. I'm just going to choose that one for me. And I'm going to put energy use. No, I'm going to put solar power energy. That'll do for now. Obviously, the more you put in that prompt, the more personalized it is for your learners, the better it's going to be. I can choose then a level, how hard I want it on here as well. And then I can click generate. And what that does, it generates the questions, but puts it into edit mode. So if anything isn't quite right for my learners, if the electricity is far too cheap, I can change that here as well and actually make sure that this is right, the wording's correct for my learners. Let's check the second one. That one's correct. And then I can either go back to the AI assistant, add some more. I can add some more here, or just click next, finish, and then I've got that game show ready to play. That will then, at the moment, I'm just previewing this. In the moment, I'll press it so we can all have it. And then that's that Wheel of Fortune game. We answer a question here, get it wrong, sends over to the other team. I can either then be playing that at the front, or the students can be connected and then playing onto their devices. And that is by adding in this game-based activity here as well. And again, there's loads within there. One like a rank order, where I'm just listing options and they're putting them in order. Something more like a closed text. Copy and paste, drag the things on. Again, a great way to get that engagement for your learners, whether they are with you or remotely as well, getting them doing rather than just looking at your PowerPoint or something like that. Some choice cards, really nice label reveal one here. Again, you put in your picture, you put your hotspots around it, really nice and simple to make. And some other ones down here as well. Even just something as simple like a word search. All I need to do is just type in the words here and my word search is then made for me. Really nice and simple. So would, could, should. That'll do for now. So I've got some words in there. Click next. Choosing my background. I'm just going to choose the Lumio one. I can customize this background as well if I prefer a different one. Click finish, and there is my word search. Now it's in my lesson. I'm going to actually just start and press play on this one as well and get all of you in that word search as well for a moment, just so we can have a bit of a play for a minute. So hopefully mine will load. Doesn't usually take that long, so I'm just going to end that on there and let's just start again. Always happens, doesn't it? So then this session will be then sent out to you as well. And if you do want to then join, I'm just going to put that link back into the chat as well. So in the meantime, whilst this is loading, it's probably my internet. Hello to everybody from all the different countries. It's really nice to see you all as well. Some familiar names that I've seen before, and nice to see you all on here as well. And for some reason, mine is not going to load. So I'll leave that. There are the games there. I'm just going to click and refresh this page here, just in case it's that. It might be my internet. It might be that my kids have got home and they've all just started going online with everything else as well. So I've then got this lesson here as well that has stopped spinning. So I'm just going to try once more within this here as well, just to show you it definitely does work. And then what we'll have here is my lesson, press play, and it is then on all of your learners' devices as well, and they can take an active role within that and take a part of it. No, it's not going to go for me. Oh, well, we'll come back to it in a minute. So then that session is there. The games will be there. They're sent out to everybody as well. So that was by editing that lesson and adding in that content from down at the bottom here as well. So one of the other things I'd look at, rather than that quick game-based activities, is this one here is response. Response is more of your formative assessments, more of your test scenario. So then by clicking on that one there, I can then add in a test, if you like. These are then the multiple choice questions, or true and false, multiple answer, poll, or short opinion, short answer. Those can then be sent out to the learners. They can do those. You would then have those or the answers already done. So the fact that when they finished it, they get the answers straight away. They can see how well they've done. They've got that feedback straight there. But then you've got all of their data as well, so you can assess it and see how well they've done as well. And again, with that Lumio Assist, I can then have a multiple answer in this wheel. Let's just have a different one, this one. Let's have a short answer about power again, and then generate that one. And then it'll give me a short answer of looking at power. Add another one, and then they can all be playing up in here as well. I can then click next, click finish, and then that assessment is then part of that lesson, and it's all within here as well. I'm just going to show you that word search just because it didn't load a moment ago, so we can see it here instead. And then this is how it would appear. And then within here, you might have spotted one already. So I've got that one here. And let's see, shoulds along the bottom there as well. So they're all jumbled. Click for hint, and I can see that then is could there as well. Great way of just using that engagement. Again, if this was going, it would then be working on your device as well. What's really nice about this is actually everyone's word search is completely different as well. So every time you do it, it is new as well. And then with that response here as well, that would be then your formative assessment. All the questions would then appear for them, and you could do that as well. So looking at kind of our objectives from the very beginning, what we were aiming to achieve is this interaction and that engagement for the learners. How can they play that role within it itself here? Hopefully, Lumio has begun to show you different parts of that with the formative assessment, any additional content adding to that as well. So that is beginning to look like Lumio. Taking that content, up-leveling it with a few other bits and pieces as well. What happens if you haven't got anything already? Yes, it's all great. We've got, as teachers, I think we're really good at keeping resources that we've already got and redoing things, or there's so many different schemes of work out there already that taking that content. But then when we need to personalize it and make it our own, great. Or what happens if we do need to start a completely new lesson? So there's a couple of kind of links within here itself I want to have a go look and show you. One of them is this Lumio library at the top here. Now, we've got some fantastic ex-teachers, similar to myself, working within Lumio, and we have collaborated with lots of other companies as well. And as today is St. Patrick's Day, I can see here that we have got a morning meeting. It's all nicely themed at the front at the top here. And there's lots of other content features at the top. But then moving around, oh, there you go. There's all the St. Patrick's Day content. All of that content there can be used and edited and made your own. There's some more clocks, there's some more templates, some graphic organizers working with different companies themselves. And there are so many resources in here, all of them that you can then just take, click on one of these as an example, and then save to your library. So then you can customize it, you can personalize it for yourself, rather than just doing something very generic from the self there as well. So save that to my library. It would then come back into my library. So you can use that content. I can import that content already. And then the other one is just this AI assessed here. Sometimes when you're teaching that lesson, you might have prepared it, you might have used that content, but actually they didn't get a certain part. So you're going to have to know, oh, I've got to teach this tomorrow. And then you've got to make a new lesson for tomorrow. Or you're quickly thrown in saying, oh, quick, I need to learn this. Or just those times when you've just had a bit of brain, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to write. And then this is where that AI assist comes in. I can then write my prompt in here, and then that lesson is created for me. So I'm just going to put comparing energy use across Europe. Focus on wind power. There we are. Great. Let's put it somewhere in the middle. And again, I can choose to put this in different languages. More are coming. I'm going to keep it to English just so I can see some of it. And then I can click generate. What's really good about Lumio's responsible use of AI here is that we are not using your data. We are not using the students' data. And we are going to various different models to create this here. This agentic style of AI, when actually it's doing all of those different processes here, that my whole lesson is created for me, as you can see. I can then even go in to edit any of these as well. I can just see that there isn't a Z in here. I should have put it saying using English rather than the American English. But any of those things that I can do here, I can edit and tweak any of those. Click Save Changes, choose a template, any one I want to put in here as well. I'm just going to go to these shapes one. I quite like that one. Click Create. And then that lesson is then created for me. Fingers crossed with my bandwidth, it'll sail through. And then that lesson is created. As I was just saying a moment ago, it uses lots of different models for this as well. So if one isn't working or one does one thing better, it will look at various different ones within that. That's what we've built that platform within Lumio to be able to pivot to each one itself. We're not using student data at all for any of this, and we're not identifying anything within it itself. So again, a very safe, responsible way of using AI. And there, before I've even finished talking, is my lesson. I've got my learning objectives, a quick warm-up, a shout it out activity, which I'll come into in a moment, And then again, it's teaching me a few things within it. There's a game, this one here. In fact, what I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to see if I can click start and just show you it. So what this will do here is get everybody in, and we'll get that as well. There we are. Don't know what was wrong with the last lesson. There we are. I'm just going to put that link in the chat in case you want to join. And let's just run through this lesson here itself. So where were we? We're looking at the super sort activity. So again, I can play this game here. I can then put these ones itself here as well. I'm getting all these right, aren't I? Hopefully. Oh, I got that one wrong. So there we are. I can then put these within the groups here. And that is then my game. Those that you've joined as well, I can see that 7 of you are actually joining as well and actually playing along. And let's just see here. There we are. Joshua's first to finish. Pierre's joined as well. Excellent. And lots of you have joined for that as well. I'm going to move on. I think I agree with that comment here. Very practical, time-saving, fun, educational application. I think I might just quote that one. Excellent. So, and then moving on to the next activity. If you're only halfway through it, not to worry. A really nice and simple one here. You can just drag and drop these into the places here. I'll best not move out Denmark. Check my answers. Those two were wrong way around, so then I change them here. And again, why we're doing this is to get that engagement from the learners. I think all too often, particularly with remote sessions, that we're just seeing something. Getting them practically doing and involved with that lesson is something that students are demanding more and more as well. And then just another one, match them up activity is here as well. So maybe, well, I'm not going to spend long on this one, but you can see some of these activities within here as well. I've got a student, I've got class of 49 joined live as well. So it's great to see all of you joined and you all are there as well. So another one within this that I was going to mention beforehand is this shout it out. And that is a great way, you can see where it is here, in that way that Lumio have made this lesson. And again, this is just an AI created lesson. I haven't gone through anything yet. This here is a shout it out. And it's a great way of actually collecting your student information as well. So where you've got the box in front of me, don't worry too much about writing incorrect answers. If you want to just say hello or something like that, pop something in the text box in front of you, and it will then appear up on the screen here. There you go. Clean energy. No. So then I'm collecting these responses in here as well. A bit like using the chat feature we've got at the side, but actually now me trying to follow that chat feature and see where everyone's going within that during a live session can be very confusing. And then trying to record that in a place afterwards. What I've got here is actually a way of categorizing those answers. I can see who has answered each one of these. I can actually display the names and turn them off. So now they're anonymous. I know that many students don't like to have their name attached to something, that fear of participating. So now all of you can send in those information itself. Luckily, I have got a bit of a bin at the top here. So if one of these answers does need to go in the bin for any reason, I can move those across here. Or if I just click on them here, we can see that great answer being submitted in full and just see that as well. So that's a great way of saying, quick, give me your answers. And that's the shout it out within Lumio. I'm going to end that lesson now. Sorry if you were halfway through writing something, but let's just end that one. So that was that AI generated lesson that we took us, well, I was still talking, so less than 2 minutes of that content within here, or the PowerPoint that I've had beforehand. But then each one of those, once I went to edit that file, I can add in more content. Whether these graphic organizers or those templates at the bottom, the games and assessments, including shout it out in the middle, or right along the top, I had my additional resources like YouTube, a graphing calculator from Desmos, your PhET simulations or book creator, and ClickView there as well. And of course, if you want to just add in something else, I can add in another PowerPoint, I can add in a PDF to really kind of bring those resources together. Of course, I can do that within Lumio as well. So some really fantastic ways of getting that engagement getting those students doing rather than just viewing that content as well. And that is all taking place directly within Lumio. And of course, now I'm just jumping into another lesson. And because you already joined the previous one, you're straight into this one. I didn't need to send you a new code. I didn't need to do anything like that. So wherever you need to go as a educator, your class will follow with that as well. So let's just tick off a few of these here. We had a quick overview of what Lumio was. Cloud-based platform that works on anything, whether that's iPad, Chromebook, smart boards, web browsers, from there. We took the PowerPoint, and you were kind of the students in that one. We looked at the graphic organizers, the AI edited games. We had the formative assessments. We didn't press play on that one. And we looked at a way of bringing additional content, including the AI links as well. So the next ones I'm going to jump. Oh, we've looked at libraries already. Accessibility. Let's have just a nose on that one for a minute. So firstly, you've got it in front of you. You've got that ownership. You can see it. If it's a bit small, you may just naturally pinch to zoom. You can take that a larger scale for you. You've then got that in front of you, which is a great kind of way to link everyone together. It might be the graphic organizers, rather than just having a blank page and saying, right, now write something. What do I write? Where do I start? Having that graphic organizer was a great way to say, well, now we're going to put that in a mind map so we can actually see what we're doing within itself. A great way to kind of get those students started and thinking within it. It might be something like immersive reader. And this you'll see for yours as well. So down the left-hand side of your page, and on mine as well, I've got this immersive reader. So whereas I can then see these topics here, I can click on one of those. And if you're familiar with Microsoft's immersive reader, it's that built in. So that fact I can click on any of these, and that it is giving me the picture clue for each one of these. Glad to find this is a really useful tool. Excellent. I can have these read to me. I can have the whole thing. I'm not sure if I said shared sound. But there you go. I can have it read to me, which is fine if English is my first language. If I can read English, no worries. What might be, and many of you would like this as well, being clicking on that book at the top here, and I can choose to translate this into a language. Now, just jumping down the list here, there you go. Let's have it in Greek. I've seen a few people joining there, and then that is then translated in Greek. Hopefully that's okay, and hopefully that read well as well. What's useful for me, as well as it being in Greek, I can quickly change it back to English, change it back to Greek. If I'm clicking on one of these words, I can see the translation backwards and forwards. So for me teaching in England and people joining with lots and lots of different languages, and equally for you as well, joining with lots of different languages, that they can all have that, they can access your lesson in the language that is right for them, and that is just built in by design into Lumio. So I'm just going to turn that translation off for a moment. And what I'm going to do here is, as well as the translation, I can actually have my color semantics. So I can have those highlighted within there. I can also then at the top here, change the color background. For me personally, being dyslexic, this green background is beautiful. So actually I can have that being seen and read to me. And actually I can change that font as well to something that's easier for me to see. The text size, the pacing as well. And again, by design, all of that is then built into Lumio. From you as a teacher, you don't need to do anything else. It is just there for the learners. If I was to add in a picture, let's just add a cat, not relevant at all to this, but let's just add that one in. Ooh, these aren't loading. Anyway, within the pictures themselves, down this drop-down menu here, I can actually add my alt text as well. So if some of your learners are using screen recorders as well, they can have that as well. And they can add in that alt text to just describe what is being in that picture. You can also attach audio as well. So within attaching audio, I can record straight into it, or I can add in audio from my work as well. So a great way to actually have each one of those being read to you. Or if there were a picture, particularly for younger learners, they can have that picture, they can click on it, having read to them. Or if their learners would prefer to give verbal feedback, they can do that as well. I can just see a few questions that have popped up about adding maths tools within this as well. So I'm just going to add in a blank page here. And just going to briefly show you here where I can actually add in equations. So I can use either chemistry-based or maths-based symbols. Those can be added to them. So I can just type those in properly. So yes, I can add those into it itself. Or of course, any of the games and assessments that we looked at as well, you just then put whatever content you want to it. And the beauty of that is that because they are template based, you can put whichever you want in there as well. So again, it's personalized for your learners. So let's just come out of that, edit that lesson, add in, and then maybe I'm doing a game-based activity and I'm doing a rank order. And within this one here, I was to type in a list of decimals that we wanted to put in the correct order. So 0. Where's my point? 0.1, 0.12, 0.3, 0.3, and 1. A very crude example as my maths there. I can then customize this. I can put my background on as well. Again, I'm just going to choose the Lumio one. I've then got that quick one here as well. And this is just a rank order activity. Ooh, literally, this has just changed as we've spoken. There we are. And then that activity is going in here as well. So I can then put that in the right place, put that in the wrong place, and that is then chucked out as well. So as we are literally live halfway through the session here, the interface of the black line at the side has literally just been updated. We would do this update any moment, and it's literally just turned on now. So these tools are then at the side here rather than being where they were, but it's exactly the same buttons, but we'll just see them at the side here as well. Excellent. So click on those 3 dots and then end that session itself. So hopefully that's given you a bit of an overview of it. See how it's being used, how you can bring in your content already, and then some great ways to get those students actively partaking as well, whether English is their first language, whether Greek was their first language, and actually taking that part and doing it as well, or accessing that content the way that is right for them as well. So I'm just going to follow up, just going to finish off with sharing that activities with students and with staff, and then I'll give you a link of how to sign up to get your own version of Lumio as well. So within this here as well, this is then my lesson here when I can click Assign New. So if I want to send this out as students, I can then click Share Assessments, and then that link there, ready for the students, they can have it, they can take it, and maybe they can have it before the session and join in. Or you're sending it out to have afterwards, and then they can have that content as well. Now it's moved over from my library into share class sessions. I can see that these are all the different ones down here as well. So if you are teaching the same lesson to multiple students, you can see them down the side here as well. And then the other link is, of course, if I've made that content, I want to share it with somebody else. Click on those 3 dots. And then down here, I can share file. And then this is the way I can share it with other teachers as well. They can click on that, and then they've got that for them to have as well. What it does, it copies that lesson across. It makes a completely new one, takes out all student data. None of that is taken off. And then that is given to the new teacher as well. Regarding student data, anything that you've done for there and anything that students will do will sit inside your own lesson. So student data sits underneath the teacher's data, and theirs is stored OneDrive, Google Drive, or where you've signed into as well. Single sign-on with those credentials. And again, that is where it's stored. It is in, I'm going to say, the correct server, GDPR compliant, depending where you are within Europe. It is in the right place. And again, we've got papers to kind of prove that and back that up as well. So what we all really need to know is, how can we get to Lumio? How can you get started today? And that is going on to this one here. This is this link here. So those that you have joined already, click on that link, away you go. I am going to then put this link in the chat as well. In fact, if I won't click on that page, I'm going to go on to here, and I'm going to put www.lum.io, and that is the link there. Take that link, have a go with Lumio. It is completely free to sign up, completely free to use to start with. You will have space for about 10, 20 lessons. And then there is a subscription beyond that as well. Of course, we can discuss that at another time as well, but get going for free. That link there, sign in with your, at the top of it, it just says sign in with your normal teacher email address. Or if you prefer to keep this outside of your teacher email address, of course, use that one as well, whichever one you think is right. Sign in with an email address and go from there, and you'll be able to then use Lumio for everything itself as well. And you've got all of those features within itself, the AI creation, the games activities, everything within itself. Have a go, have a play, have an explore. And then I'm just going to tell you about a couple more links here before we come to a finish. One of them is Lumio Socials. Feel free to share Lumio across all platforms itself. If you want to follow myself, I'm just at Mark Hartwright, across all platforms from there as well. And then finally, just going to show you the Academy as well, because I know that I've shared an awful lot. And once you've signed into Lumio, lum.io, you'll want to probably have a bit of a play for yourself. And that is that hat there at the top. Click on that hat and it gives you a link to the Lumio Academy. Lots of training, lots of professional development, and again, in your language. So it's even easier for you to follow. You'll be able to have that and go through that guide, see what is within there, and learn even more within Lumio. Of course, if you're stuck at all, then feel free to be in contact with SchoolNet, with myself or anybody else as well. And then we can support you with that training sessions and that professional development as well. Or, of course, go online, go on socials and ask others. There is a great ambassador community as well, which is there. Join our communities. Lots of other great teachers from all across Europe, all across the world, wanting to help you and wanting to share their expertise with you as well. But as we are coming up to time, I think we'll just have a brief look around at the other questions. I can see lots of thank yous. So I'm really grateful for those. I'm really hopeful that has been useful. Go and have a try. Go and have a play. And hopefully it'll work really well for you. Are there any other questions that we have not yet addressed? One up here saying, what can be done regarding art education? So I am no artist, so I can't really go into that. But what you've got here is a digital whiteboard. So as for actually drawing and writing, personally, I think that probably needs a piece of paper and a pencil or something like that. But if it was a study of art, actually I can use this as, let's look at some sources. Let's compare the different artists, see what they've done, what's the common theme, and then we can do that digitally and share that resources. Of course, the use of digital art, using this as a whiteboard, yes, I can add certain things to it. I can add in shapes, I can add in writing, I can do things there. Once you get more advanced, you're probably going to use different tools. But as a teaching, as a way of how can I make my PowerPoint more interactive, that's really where I'd say Lumio shines, the teaching of art rather than the practical use of it itself. I can't see any more that have come down. I think that has been clicked off.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you for your contribution. This was really interesting and fun to watch. Looking at all the comments, I think that our attendees really will leave this session with the will to try Lumio for their lessons. And well, we actually have another question just right now. Is there a limit regarding the amount of used tools Also, I want to ask if there is a storage limit. So a very technical question,
Yeah.
and I think this applies to the basic plan that you were mentioning before.
Yeah, so no, use all of those tools. They're all there for you. There's no limit to any of those. Storage-wise, it does limit you to 100 megabytes from the free version. So then if you do want to upgrade, you can either do it from the web or speak to us and we can kind of put you in touch, particularly if you're looking at implementing this for more than one person, we can sort that with you as well. There is a limit on the use of AI. There are 5 AI-generated freebies per day, just because the tokens that we need to generate through that as well. All it does is rather than generate it for you, you just type it yourself or have another tomorrow.
But in a second, I will also talk about a great opportunity for all the educators watching us to potentially be awarded with the advanced plan, the Spark plan of the Lumio platform, participating to the STEM Discovery campaign, which many of you, I'm sure, are already familiar and know what it is. But we'll get to that in a second, because I just wanted to ask Mark something about the accessibility tools of the platform, and specifically how does Lumio support the differentiated let's say instruction. If we want to deploy and deliver lessons differently for students who may need more time or a different level of challenge, for example.
Yeah, of course. Really good question. Thank you. Couple of ways of doing it. Either once we've started this lesson here, what I can do is then clicking on my people, put it into student pacing. So then the students can go where they need to within that lesson. So I could say, right, this table go to this page, this table go to this page, and I can kind of orchestrate that within my lesson itself. Or the other one is just to have completely different lessons. So whereas I would assign this lesson here to one group, actually I can assign this lesson to another group as well. And then I can send that out through whatever platform you use, Google Classroom, Canva, whatever it might be, Canvas, Teams. So then each child can have their own link, and then they can have their own lesson to do as they wish, but in a more asynchronous way rather than a synchronous way. So a couple of different ways to address that.
Wonderful. And just to close the all these information about the platform, I'm asking you, like, what's the one thing that most teachers don't discover until months into using the platform that you wish they knew on day one, like a tip that you have out of your hat after several years?
That's a good one. Well, actually, I think because we've looked, I'm going to show you something different. It might be that you can add new things to it itself here. What I'm going to say here is actually these buttons at the top here. One of them is this beta program. So if you want to be looking at the new features, click on that one here. And that will also give you a list of new features that are brand new within Lumio. So that's the beta program at the top there. And then the other one was the ambassadors. And you've got so many other teachers using this globally. Join and speak to everybody else. There's so many other people using it. So those two buttons there, the beta one for learning some new bits, and the communities for teachers using it as well, so you can share with like-minded staff.
Amazing. Thank you, Mark. And before we really close for today and we say goodbye, these last minutes, I would really like to take a moment to tell you about something exciting, as I was mentioning before, that is happening. The STEM Discovery Campaign 2026 and the Scientix Award. The STEM Discovery Campaign is the annual international initiative organized by Scientix that brings together teachers, educators, and many other stakeholders to celebrate STEM careers and studies around the world. What does it mean for you? It's your chance to share the amazing STEM activities that you've been doing, showcase your education, and inspire others to follow your lead. To make your participation even easier, we've developed in collaboration with Cisco an app that lets you join with just one click, available on every store, or you can download it from the QR code that you see here. Your work, as I was mentioned before, could be recognized through the Scientix Awards. Together with SMART, they are supporting one specific award, the Scientix Teamwork Award, which celebrates collaboration and inclusivity, classroom activity that foster collaboration and inclusivity. And you can use, as we saw today, the Lumio platform to develop and deliver these lessons. So not only you could be recognized, as I was saying before, with the Lumio Spark license, which is the advanced plan, but you could also get a chance to come to Brussels and take part in a workshop in the Future Classroom Lab with UN pedagogical experts. So take part in the STEM Discovery campaign, use Lumio and all the amazing features that Mark showed us today, and keep an eye on Scientix for updates. So on this note, thank you, everyone. Thank you to our fantastic guest speaker and to all of you attending the session today. It was a pleasure being your host, and many thanks to all of you for the contribution. Thank you all, and goodbye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.